A mutilated body in a rain barrel was identified by a single dental crown. On January 7, 2005, a discovery along a remote road near Saint-Quirin in France would set off one of the country's most puzzling investigations. A Harcoastar rain barrel, weathered and discarded, contained something far more sinister than collected rainwater. Inside, wrapped methodically in black garbage bags and bound tightly with cord, lay a severely mutilated female body. The remains were so badly decomposed and damaged that traditional identification seemed impossible. No wallet, no documents, no clear features. Just a body stripped of identity, abandoned in a barrel on a frozen French roadside. Who was she? And how did she end up here? But the timeline of this case takes a darker turn when we look backward. The barrel that held the victim's remains didn't suddenly appear on that snowy French roadside in January. Months earlier, in mid-October 2004, a fisherman spotted something unusual floating in the Red Sar River. It was the same distinctive Harcoastar rain barrel, distinctive enough that when authorities later connected the dots, they realized the killer's plan had partially failed. The barrel had drifted downstream, carried by autumn currents, and somehow ended up stranded on the riverbank. Instead of sinking into the depths or being swept far away, it had become visible. Someone had tried to use the river as a burial ground, hoping the water would carry away the evidence forever. But nature had other plans. The barrel got caught, and for months it sat there, waiting. When winter came and the body was finally discovered along that remote road near Saint-Quirin, investigators understood the horrifying truth: the victim had been dead and disposed of since at least October, possibly longer. The killer had chosen the river as their dumping ground, but miscalculated. That single mistake, the barrel refusing to disappear into the depths, would ultimately lead to everything unraveling. When forensic dentists examined what remained of the victim's teeth, they discovered something extraordinary: a single dental crown that would become the key to everything. This wasn't just any crown. It was a Richmond brand prosthetic, a specific type of dental work with a distinctive manufacturing signature. The Richmond brand was not commonly used in France. In fact, it bore hallmarks of dental work performed in Eastern European clinics, where this particular brand of crowns was far more prevalent. Forensic odontologists cross-referenced dental records across international databases, searching for women matching the victim's age, dental profile, and the specific characteristics of that Richmond crown. The breakthrough came when they matched the crown to a woman from Russia. She had disappeared years earlier, and her dental records had been preserved in a Russian medical archive. The crown's unique composition, the way it had been fitted, the materials used, all of it pointed unmistakably eastward. This single small artifact, no larger than a fingernail, bridged the gap between a nameless corpse in a French rain barrel and a real person with a real history, a real family, and a real story. One dental crown had accomplished what months of investigation could not: it gave the victim her identity back, and it opened an entirely new avenue into who had taken her life. Once forensic dentists confirmed the Richmond crown's origin, investigators faced a sobering reality: their victim was not French. The dental work, combined with facial reconstruction and bone analysis, pointed unmistakably eastward. She was from Eastern Europe, most likely Russia or a neighboring former Soviet state. This discovery transformed the investigation entirely. The rain barrel, the remote disposal site, the careful wrapping and binding, these weren't the hallmarks of a crime of passion. They suggested calculation, organization. The possibility of human trafficking networks operating across European borders became a grim focal point. Russian women had been disappearing into exploitation rings for decades, sold into servitude or murdered when they became liabilities. Investigators began cross-referencing missing persons databases from Moscow to Minsk, searching for any woman matching her profile who vanished in 2004. The international dimension meant cooperation with Interpol and Russian authorities, jurisdictions that didn't always align. Years of leads went nowhere. The victim remained officially unidentified in every database except one, the French forensic record. Her Eastern European origins raised questions far darker than a simple homicide. Was she trafficked? Enslaved? Had she tried to escape? The Richmond crown had revealed who she wasn't. But it could not reveal why someone murdered her. The Richmond crown gave her back her name, but it could not give her justice. Years have passed, and the identity of her killer remains unknown. French authorities pursued every lead, yet the case grew cold. She was identified, yes, but why she died, and at whose hands, remains buried with the secrets of that rain barrel. The Crown solved one mystery. It left another untouched.